Yo, you got a mic. What's going on, guys? Back here with another banger video. And I know I haven't made a Cobra Kai video in almost a year now, but I'm coming back to make a video on the GOAT, Robby Keene. Come on now. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining Robby Keene's broken ability to very quickly adapt to opposing fighters and how it basically makes his potential limitless in a sense, which I'll be going over in this video. But before I get into that, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another one of my fire uploads. With all that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the first time we actually get to see Robby's adaptability in action is in his fight against Axel in Season 6, Episode 13. And prior to this fight, he used the simulation that Dimitri and Hawk made to basically fight Axel in a virtual reality, which is kind of absurd. And if you think about it, Dimitri and Hawk would be billionaires if they actually made this type of technology. But I'm getting off topic here. So basically, Robby trains against a virtual Axel who's Miguel just listening to commands from Dimitri and Hawk, and they're using the commands to do like Axel's moves, right? So Robby gets used to fighting Axel, but specifically the Axel that was in Barcelona for the first part of the Seikai Taikai. Now, this is important because in their rematch in episode 13, Robby scores the first point of the match, and then Axel immediately switches his stance and starts using different techniques that Robby has never seen before and starts cooking Robby. Now, the first thing I want to note is that Robby really only trained to beat Axel for one day. Yes, he did train just in general with all of Miyagi-Do before that, but none of that was specifically to counter Axel's moveset, unlike the VR training, which was literally only to beat Axel, and he only did that for one day. So anyways, during Robby and Axel's rematch, Axel beats up Robby in the first round, and then Robby gets a speech from Daniel. Daniel reminds Robby of all the times he's adapted and overcome the odds in the series, and this kind of unlocks Robby's full adaptability trait. Now, just off the first round, and Axel scoring 6 points against him, in round 2, Robby is able to go even with 5 points each against Axel. So he went from getting 5-0'd to evenly drawing at 5-5. That is very impressive development in a 5-minute time span, which is absolutely absurd. And by the end of the second round, judging by the smirk on Robby's face, he's pretty confident that he will perform even better in the third round. But unfortunately, Axel's Sensei Wolf tells him to cheat, and that's what he does. He breaks Robby's leg, and that's a rip in the chat for Robby's Seikai Taikai run. So now you may be saying, well, Robby didn't even adapt. He literally got cooked. Here's the thing. If a character is aware that their opponent will cheat or will try to fight dirty, they will adjust to that and maybe even do it themselves. But in a tournament setting, you shouldn't think that your opponent's going to cheat, because obviously that's a rare occurrence, your opponent cheating in a tournament. So Robby not being on guard for a dirty move isn't even his fault. Likely that would have happened to anyone. Now that I've given you the overview of the evolution of Robby's adaptability, we can get into the nitty-gritty and see how far Robby could potentially push this ability. So as we know, the Seikai Taikai is the under-18 World Karate Tournament, meaning that there are stronger fighters out there, being adults. And if Robby ever wanted to pursue the crown of being the best karate fighter in the world, not just being the strongest karate under-18 fighter in the world, then here's how he could go about it. First off, he could just watch film of the tournament from last year and see the competitors, and just watch the film, observe it, and he could adapt in his mind. He could also ask Dimitri and Eli to make another simulation of the competitors from last year's, and boom, he can just simulate them, fight against them for a day, and he should be good to go. Now, if that doesn't work, he can always just fight them once maybe he loses, but he will adapt and then train with that adaptation. So the next time they fight, he'll cook him. Now, maybe you're saying, what if there's a brand new fighter that nobody's heard of comes onto the scene? Robby doesn't have time to adapt. Now, there is 3 ways this situation could go. The first one, it's a rounded tournament, so you fight a round, you take a break, you fight another round, take a break, right? Like the Saikai Taikai. If that's the case, Robby should be able to hold them off for a round and then adapts, and the next round he's more adapted and does better against them. Another option is they just beat him in the first round, which would mean they just knock him out or injure him or kill him, right? But I believe with Robby being the Miyagi-Do specialist, he would be able to hold someone off for, 2-minute rounds? And even if he couldn't, he realistically could just run away for 2 minutes and just try to scrap together a few blocks here and there, and he would just adapt from seeing the fighter up close and also parrying some of their blows. Because realistically, he's not just going to be able to do absolutely nothing against them. Even Axel, when he used the different stance for the first time, Robby was still able to block, run away, and parry some of his attacks. So I really don't think he's completely cooked if the opposing fighter is that much stronger than him, where they can take him out in the first round. And the third option is it's not rounded, and it's just a really long, drawn-out fight, and there's no time limit, nothing. It's just whoever beats the opponent, knocks them off, knocks them out. If it's that situation, I don't really know if Robby can adapt on the fly. That's the thing. Robby might need a break to fully adapt, because there was no evidence showing that he can just immediately adapt on the fly in the heat of the battle. I think he needs to be in a battle and then have a short rest period to fully adapt and then go back in. I don't think it's all at once like that. So if it's a full drawn-out fight, I honestly think he loses. But like I said before, he loses once, and then he could just come back the next time, adapted, and beat them. So really, if you give Robby enough time, theoretically, he could beat any opponent you put him up against, as long as it's not some otherworldly fictional being like Goku. Like, come on now. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation and deep dive into Robby's adaptability trait. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss one of my banger videos. And I will see you guys in the next one.